What's going on, guys? Barton Willie here, and welcome to episode 15 of season 2, and I'm rebooting Ferrari Motorsport Manager F1 2020 mod series. Okay, so today, of course, we have Monza. Our suspension won't be ready for today, for this race today, and the gearbox is going to pretty much take up all our development time. So we pretty much are just going to advance to Monza. It's going to be, unless any, oh, hang on, something has popped up. I was just about to say, unless something pops up. Our driver lineup is really first rate. I've had a few mechanics come up to me in the factory who tell me how happy they are with Daniel and Charles. So yeah, nice one. Oh, thanks. That was nice. You can actually compare driver lineups if you have a look here. We have the second best drivers on grid behind Mercedes. I'm sure Verstappen is carrying that Red Bull into third place with Albon there. But yeah, anyway, no disrespect to Albon. Our pit crew needs a bit of a swap around, I think. We need to get it back up there. I just sort of like keeping little tabs on it. We need someone with, he's a bit better at the rear jack. I also get a mistake with the rear jack, so there we go. And that's 1.7 seconds, so beautifully done. Continuing on here, we're going to just go ahead to this reliability work done. What should we work on for the last day? Probably brakes. Let's work on brakes. We have not touched the brakes all year. So we should probably construct a pair of brakes after today, after the suspension's done, just to even out the car a little bit. But time travel to Monza, I'll see you for Q3. Okay, so that's Q2 all wrapped up. There's a bit of rain at the end of Q2, which adds for a bit of an interesting prospect for Q3 if the rain continues on. But the Mercedes this weekend look lightning. I can see there they are actually both in the top three. Max Verstappen splits them. We're not quite there yet. Not far off Bottas, as you can see there, but not great, obviously. We want to be closer. I don't know why they've just all of a sudden got to kick up the butt. Like, yeah, dude, they're cheating. I think the Mercedes are actually just making illegal parts now, because their cars are insanely fast. But no rain for Q3. We're going to get all three runs in, so that will be fun. Hopefully get a good time, but I'm not too happy with the Mercedes today. They've really ticked me off. I can't get the close setup right. I've been trying, but it's like I move the speed balance there. It's great. Move it there, it's great. You can't get in between with the perfect without moving all the other stuff, and that makes them go out of the perfect zone. But it's still a very good setup, so it should be fine. It will be fine. We'll clearly just have to deal with it. But yeah, so 3 runs today because it's only a 113 around here, so very short lap. We'll be able to just quickly go around, send them straight back out. We'll be right, lay some rubber down nice and early. Obviously, there's not a lot of track grip, not as much as there was in Q2 anyway. Send about straight away with a new set of super softs. Wait till Daniel gets around the first corner, send out Leclerc on a fresh set. We need to find some pace here. We're half a second off Hamilton. And Bottas is already in the top 3 with his first banker run. So that shows how fast he is this weekend with that, we'll call it car, I guess. A legal car, but you know. And we're going to P3, beautifully done. We've still 1 run to go. We're going to go out about 2 minutes for that last run. We'll send out Leclerc at 2:30 just to get him out the way of Ricardo. I mean, it's a bit like that now. We sort of have to start choosing drivers because Leclerc is not really overperforming like he was at the start of the season. Not entirely his fault, but I would have liked to see a bit more of competitiveness from him. But here's Ricardo, 1 minute to go. He'll easily make it across the line with 30 seconds to spare. Come on, mate. Hamilton's gone purple, and he's just smashed Verstappen's lap out of the water. And we are P3, almost a second of Hamilton. Hamilton is definitely cheating this week, and hopefully scrutineering picks him up and drops a couple places. So really, I think that first place is more like second, because the Mercedes just seem to always have illegal parts in the car now. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that the whole video. Race day. It's raining here in Monza. How exciting. It's going to be raining the entire race. It's going to be our first entire wet race. We've never had one of these before this whole series. Trust me, I know. I've been waiting for one just because it's interesting. But all our data flies out the window here. We're just going to go in car condition preservation. Attack. Overtake, overtake, attack. Start race. Come on, boys. We need a good race here. Hopefully, we're good in the wet. I don't know if our race pace is decent in the wet or what. But here we go. We need a slingshot start from both drivers here. We need Leclerc to not have a bad start. Ricardo's fast off the line, but so is Verstappen and Hamilton. Beautiful start for the top 3 there. Leclerc's already up in the 5th. Great job. Don't run wide. It is in the wet, so expect more crashes and mistakes, I suppose, but Hamilton zoomed away straight away. That car is on another level, and it's all over the back of Verstappen, and we got Leclerc coming up over the back of Ricciardo, and we get Verstappen. That Red Bull is nothing to us now on the top speed there, as we just saw. Beautiful done. Beautifully done. So now we're going to go push, keep using all that engine, may as well. Engine's really important around Monza, so let's just abuse our engine as we are closing in on Hamilton here. And we could have a bit of pace, more pace than I thought. Because we're all over the back of Hamilton. We hopefully have some wet weather pace. That'll be beautiful. Ricciardo, all over the back of him there. He's trying to get past him. Hamilton's fighting him away nicely, to be fair to him. But hopefully we can jump him here. And beautifully done. We're through. And Leclerc's about to go through too. Leclerc's through. And we're in top 2 at Monza. That is fantastic from the boys. What a start. Hopefully, we're going to jump on board Leclerc here. We can watch behind Hamilton. Hopefully Leclerc can hold up Hamilton for at least a few laps. Get Ricciardo a nice gap. As the track's looking to cool down a little bit. Cool down, I mean stop raining a little bit. But it's going to keep raining throughout the day. So it really doesn't matter. And Ricciardo is away here in first place. I would love a runaway 1-2 here. Especially with the Mercedes. I thought the Mercedes would have won this race there. One hand tie behind their back, but it's looking like we are more competitive than I once thought. So Ricciardo needs to pull away a little bit here. We're going to actually we need to calm down on the fuel. Both drivers do need to calm down a little bit on the fuel. We're going a bit hard, but that's alright. We can recover fuel later in the race. Right now we've got to get a bit of a gap. And Hamilton's all over the back of Leclerc as soon as we turn the engine down. Concerning a little bit, but that's alright, and he gets past. So Leclerc put up as much of a fight as he could. Sorry, I can't speak English. But obviously that Mercedes is pretty fast. So it was only a matter of time, I think, until he got past. But Leclerc held him up for a good, decent amount of laps. And now Hamilton's just shutting that gap completely on Ricciardo. That car is insane. Because obviously I think they have the best engine on grid. So, and Verstappen's just done Leclerc as well. So as soon as we turn our engine down, we are been swarmed here. We're going to turn it back onto high with Ricciardo here. Hopefully that'll have a similar effect, but it just seems so random. We're so far ahead, 3 seconds ahead, and now we're not so much. But that's fine, we'll deal with it. Hopefully we can still put up a fight with Hamilton here. Again, we've got to start remembering that they could be disqualified at the end of every race. It is a bit like that, isn't it? But it will be a double interstop, which is a bit random. We never have a double interstop. I'm excited. Hamilton's closing this gap really quick though. Concerning? Yes, but pit window is coming up. It looks like it's just going to be another inters. Or is that wet? That is starting to look a bit wet. This is sliding doors moment. Over about just over halfway. So over just over halfway. You know what? It could be wet. So let's see what everyone else does. Let's see what everyone else does first. It does look like Hamilton will get past us here, which is really strange. We had so much pace. But anyway, doesn't matter. We're going to turn the engines down, let him pass. The fight's over. I've given up on the fight with Hamilton. He's automatically fast again. Oh no, maybe not. But you know what? We'll just sort of prepare. But the track isn't soaked. I think soaked is time for wets, not wet. Do we do something here? How come their car is so much faster? Hamilton sped past me. I don't know. You ask them that. I think I have an idea, but I don't want to keep saying it. So. I've been stuck behind Hamilton for 22 laps. Well, you just straight out lied to me there, because you haven't. And, do we go on the wets? I'm starting to think we do. No. It's not going to be wet enough for that long, I don't think. No, let's just go on another set of inters. Let's not risk it. Yeah, because then the wets are kind of dodgy there. They have to be, like, soaked. Yeah, let's go on the inters. Should we repair the engine? No, not repair the engine. The engine's fine. Pit strategy safe. You already know we're very safe here at Ferrari. We don't want any mistakes. Recharge battery. So if we can just stay in second, there's every chance that Hamilton gets disqualified. So we're sort of in a net first place here. I mean, it's pretty dangerous to assume that you're in first, even though you're in second. But you know what? Judging by the track record, wouldn't surprise me. Try and get those tyres up to temp. Beautiful done. And chuck him in attack. Get him up there and neutral. great work. Back in the optimal temperature. Hopefully we don't lose too much time on the drivers in front who've still got a box. It looks like we're going to make up some good time here. Down to 18-second gap. We've overtaken Lance Stroll. Oh, with Leclerc. Nice. So where's Lance Stroll in 3rd place? But it looks like the tyres are struggling to keep temperature. Probably because the track is so wet. It's really kind of time for... It was sort of close to time being for wets there, but obviously there's no point being on wets for about 5 laps because you'll lose time in the pits. So we all sort of made it work on the insters, which is great. But they are going very long in their pits there, and Verstappen finally boxes and is going to have fresher tyres and only be 3 seconds behind us. So they have run those tyres into the absolute ground, which is surprising. I don't know why you do that, but they've done it, and it looks like it might work in their favour. Because Verstappen is all over the back of Hamilton on Ricciardo with fresher tyres. So we just don't have the pace. We don't have the pace. We are slow. It's very frustrating. I don't know what happened. No idea. Start of this race looked like we're going to win with our bloody one hand behind our backs, but that's fallen apart really quickly. But anyway, what can you do? So just a good start really, that's all we had. But Bottas is still ahead. We will get at least a 3rd place I think, but a bit disappointing because we meant to be faster. We've got a good engine. Yeah, anyway, we move on. Still 11 laps to go on this race. It's not all over yet. Where are we in standing? We're still top of the standings. Increasing our gap by 1 to Red Bull would be great. But we've got to get to the finish line first. And we got Bottas to worry about right behind Leclerc on brand new inters, which isn't great. But with 8 laps to go, hopefully Leclerc can keep him behind, but I don't like his chances. Leclerc isn't very fast in that second Ferrari because Bottas is going to get past him on the straight. Fair play to Bottas. He's passed. We just got to hope that Mercedes both get disqualified, to be honest. Because now the gap closes by another point to Red Bull, and this title fight is going to go right down to the wire here, isn't it? It's going to be very tense in Abu Dhabi, but Albon coming up behind Leclerc here, who pitted even earlier than us by the looks of it, or has worn his tyres in a bit more or whatever. And we're in good time with the tyres. 3 laps to go. We'll just see out this Monza race. It's disappointing. I think this race is only can be disappointing. We had the pace at the start. I don't know where it fell away to, but it did, and now we're in a decent spot. We're increasing the gap to Red Bull, but Mercedes are just coming at a rapid pace. I wouldn't be surprised if they get disqualified, though. That's the sort of pace they've had today. They've had a suspicious pace. Even Ricciardo said it before, so we'll see. I won't count on it, but I mean, look, they just set the fastest lap the last lap of the race. I mean, it's a very Hamilton thing to do. But Ricciardo gets another podium. Fair play to him. Leclerc's in 5th. Not bad from the young Monegascan, but Hamilton wins this race. We'll be watching the scrutineering very closely. And ART out of 19th is very exciting for them. Here we go. We're going to see. Were my suspicions correct? No, they were incorrect. But maybe they're correct. They just didn't get caught. But anyway, moving on. Hamilton gets the fastest lap and wins. So that gap to Mercedes shuts pretty quickly. We increase our gap to Red Bull by 1 point. But Mercedes, I don't like what they're doing. But anyway, race over. We move on to, I think, Singapore next time out. And I like the Singapore track. I also like the Monza track and the Spa track because they all got custom tracks in the game. So they kind of resemble the real life tracks. So it's quite fun. I said tracks way too much just then. But anyway, is that 15? Yeah, so we've got 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 7 races to go. And we are on top by the skin of our teeth. I'm hoping we can pull through here. It would be amazing to win, especially with this type of stories that have been written this season. But Mercedes equal out the wins with 5-5-5. The only 3 teams who would have raced. There's still 4 teams who haven't scored a point yet. AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Haas, and ART. Just confirm that the 7 races. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Okay, we've got a quick interview to do here with Ed Straw. Daniel Ricciardo is much better these days. Sorry, Leclerc. No, he was alright. 5th place isn't terrible. We'll give him that. And the suspension's done, so we'll design a quick new part. Brakes, we said the brakes were going to get a bit of love and build that. And I'm just going to quickly just future Spartan forgets to work on the reliability of his brand new suspension, and we're going to fit that suspension on nicely there, and we'll work on the performance of it as well. But that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Bit of a letdown race, but it was pretty interesting to see what would happen in an all rain. We got Singapore in 3 days, so I'll see you tomorrow for Singapore. Thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if not already. I'll see you in the next one.